When traumatic events occur, one of the most common things is to stuff them down and pretend like they've never happened and hope to God we never think of them again. So when that happens and they start affecting our lives, what do we do? Hey guys, it's Jo. Welcome back to Trauma Talk. I want to talk today about dealing with trauma years after it's happened. Now, I got an email this morning from a wonderful lady from my website asking about engaging with trauma and dealing with it years after it happened. Her message said something to the extent of the fact that she was sexually assaulted 20 years ago, but right after it happened, she decided to put it all on a shelf the best that she could because she was about to have a kid. She met someone and wanted to start life and just didn't want to address it like most people wouldn't want to, but now 20 years later is really messing with her life. This is a really common story. I've heard it over and over again. So she asked me about my story and how do you go from victim to survivor, and let me start by saying I'm not an expert in this. I am still on this journey myself, sincerely. I can't talk like an expert on any of this or like I've got it figured out because I truly don't. I'm just speaking from the bit of healing that I do know and that I do have. And so I want to talk about addressing trauma when we've stuffed it down for a while, because I have absolutely done that. I think one of the most important things is to tell your story, first and foremost. If you have not addressed trauma, if you've stuffed it in a box the best you can, put it in the back of your mind and hope to God that it would never come up again in your life, and you're realizing now that it's actually affecting you, that you do need to deal with it, that's a terrifying place to be. But I think one of the things that you can do to start dealing with that is exactly what you're doing, admitting to yourself something did happen and starting to put that into words. Whether that be telling your story by writing it down in a journal to yourself. Maybe it's joining an online forum and writing it out to people online. I think that those are two ways that are pretty non-invasive, that are less frightening than telling people face to face. But I think telling friends and family members who are trusted is really important too. Now, I say trusted because sometimes people have negative reactions and that can be damaging, and it does happen, and you can live through it when people have negative reactions. But if there are people in your life that you trust, I would really, really encourage you to talk to them about what you're facing and to ask them to be a part of your healing journey, because this is something that you can face alone, but God, it is so much easier when you have people alongside you and people support you. The second thing I would say is one that was really hard for me, being okay feeling things. And I think that is one of the biggest reasons we stuff things down and put feelings and emotions and experiences in boxes, is because they're so painful. We have to be okay not being okay, and that is something I really struggle with, honestly. I don't like admitting weakness. I don't like being a problem for people. I like pretending like I'm okay all the time. That's kind of how I grew up. I was like the peacekeeper in the family, and so I was okay all the time. Like, you didn't need to worry about me, right? I was a people pleaser. I made everyone else happy. And then these horrible events happened to me and I was not okay. No part of me was okay, but I wanted to fake it. I wanted to force it. I wanted to not address things. I wanted to rationalize my way through trauma so I could just get through it and get to the other side and be done. I wanted to take the fastest possible course to be okay again because, I just wanted to like wash my hands of it and be done. But it doesn't really work that way. And I think one of the biggest pitfalls, at least for me, was thinking that I could logic my way through trauma. There is logic and rationale involved in healing, and understanding why we respond different ways, why people do different things. But at the heart of healing, I believe, is actually feeling what happened. Feeling those emotions, feeling pain, feeling anger, feeling rage, feeling hurt, feeling grief and loss, and looking at all of those pieces, because it touches so many areas of our life, and it's not a one-time thing. It's not a one-day, sob session or getting angry once. It is a process that takes a long time, and we revisit and we look at through different lenses at different times. But when I have been able to be okay not being okay, when I've been able to just let emotion happen and just let myself feel. There has been such freedom in that, and those are the moments when I've really been able to take big steps forward. And I will be completely honest with you, that has been a recent thing. I have done a lot of healing over the past 6 years, but it has been over the last year that I've really started to be okay feeling things. It's not that I didn't before, it's just that if I ever felt something, I would try my darndest to shut it down because it's so uncomfortable or scary or weird. But you're human. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to sob. It's okay to want to break everything around you because you're so angry. It's okay to want to quit everything. It's okay wherever you are. It's okay not to be okay. And that is part of this healing process. And the third thing is, if you are comfortable with it, if you have the means, find a counselor. I know some people aren't comfortable with counseling. I definitely respect that. I also know it's cost prohibitive for some. There are resources, and a lot of counselors will work at discounted rates. Some counties and cities will offer programs for people who have been affected by sexual violence or domestic violence to find counseling so that you can actually afford it. So if cost is an issue, there are programs that you might want to look into. And counselors just can be so helpful throughout your journey. It's great to have someone to check in with. It's great to have someone who knows more about the process than you do. So if you can find someone you're comfortable with who can help you along the way and can lead you to the next step and can listen to you and be there to check in with, that has been by far one of the most helpful steps in my own recovery. And I'm making sure that I don't slip into old habits, and I'm making sure that I don't stop, dealing, or that I don't convince myself it's, fine to stuff everything back in a box, even though I've done that, a couple times at least. But they help you keep moving forward, they help you make sense of what you're dealing with, and they help you make sense of your emotions, and also understand, what has happened. And that can be really helpful. So if possible, I'd also recommend finding a counselor. Now, I am not a therapist, I am not a counselor, I'm just speaking from my own experience. I'd love to know what has helped you. So in your own journey, what has been the most helpful thing for you when addressing trauma that you have stuffed in a box for a little while or put in the back of your mind? What are some concrete steps that you think people can take to start moving forward in their healing journey? I would really love to hear what you have to think. I'm Jo Beckwith. If you don't know me already, you can find me on YouTube and Facebook under Trauma Talk, or at my website, letstalktrauma.com. I often talk and write articles about living with life after trauma and living with mental illness. So if those are subjects that interest you, please find me. I would love to talk with you, interact with you, and hear your thoughts. Please take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.